Hey, good Tuesday, everybody. Glad you're with us here. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And we are glad that, it's not raining today, which is nice. The sun's out, which has been a nice sight because it is wet around here.
It is good that it's wet, though. We need it around here. They actually got things going. The weather was actually playable yesterday over at the Auburn University Club for number one Auburn men's golf to open NCAA tournament play in the Auburn Regional. 13 under on the whatever the team score.
Wow.
8 ahead of UCLA whenever Auburn left. There were some teams on the course. Auburn gets to play at home at the Auburn University Club. Alabama, they're playing in Reno.
Oh, the biggest little town in the world is how Reno.
The littlest big town, something like that.
Yeah.
So they are underway. Again, RollTide.com is not the best. I don't even know that.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I don't have any. Yeah, RollTide.com is the official website of Alabama, and they've just got that they're playing. I don't have anything about what they're scoring so far. I'm going to have to look around, I guess. But they are underway in the NCAA regionals in men's golf.
That'll certainly
Auburn,
be Golf Channel will have some of that later on as they move up to some of the as they advance into this tournament. You'll see a lot of that stuff on Golf Channel, which is pretty good. Which I've already started watching Golf Channel, as a matter of fact, as the PGA is this week. So I watched a little bit of that. They had a rain out, and the rain obviously was bad there in the Charlotte area because they did not allow any spectators yesterday on the course for the practice round, which is probably a smart idea. Just bad weather, lightning. You get that many people on the golf course, where are you going to put them if things get bad? So probably a pretty good call by them on that.
So there is that. Troy Golf in good shape. I think Troy's in second right now, second or third. They've got an individual golfer, Jake Springer, who is in second overall in the Illinois regional. Alabama, they had a 6-hour delay out in region, and that's why I didn't have anything from RollTide.com. 6-hour delay because of high winds out in Reno. They finally got on the course right at about 12:30 this afternoon, and now play has been suspended because of darkness. I'm not sure exactly how much golf they got to play, but it wasn't enough out there.
I mean, those you got to have some really high winds. I mean, that's just part of playing.
No kidding. That's what I thought.
Still day. I mean, I don't know if a lot of debris was floating around. I don't know how, is Reno in the desert? I don't believe I've been to Reno once in my life. I don't remember it being like
it's up in the Sierra Nevadas, so it's it's not desert.
I know in some of those desert courses, if it gets windy, of course, it picks up a lot of sand, and that can be an issue. But I was not aware of that. I did not know they had a delay, and I did not know they had weather issues like that. But I was kind of down on Jay Sewell. They built him this glorious Taj Mahal golf facility up there in Tuscaloosa, and a new course and a new practice facility, and this incredible building with workout bays and hitting bays for inclement weather and nutrition. The whole deal, the whole schmear.
The whole schmear.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I mean, what are you guys doing up there? I mean, you got all this, and you just kind of fiddle farting around while I see over here Auburn's ranked number one. I mean, what's going on? I mean, they got to tighten up there.
Got some pretty good stuff. Auburn's got some pretty good stuff themselves. Latest polls are out in baseball. Auburn number 2 in the country there. Auburn's spring
number
sports
2
are
in the
all right.
Country?
Yeah, in the entire, which, again, I don't know how it works. Maybe it's just the power rankings or something like that. But Auburn is number 2 in RPI, but again, they're like tied for 4th in the SEC. Go figure. So the spring sports may end up pushing Auburn up a few spots in the end of the year Longshore and McKnight State of the SEC rankings and report we come out.
You know, Barry, it's some of those sports that in years past have brought programs down. A lot of proud programs are going, whoa, wait a minute. Cross country, swimming,
rowing.
Tennis. I mean, hey, the rowing coach retired yesterday at Alabama.
I wonder how much. I wonder how much his did he retire or was he asked to retire? What the buyout is?
Yeah, I think he stepped down. Of course, when they sent it, when it came over my phone, I went, "Who?"
Yeah.
How much were they paying that guy anyway? But
that's like the third retirement of a coach in the last 18 months. Second, I know there's another one, but
a lot of turnover.
What's going on up there?
A lot of turnover. I guess the guy didn't win enough natties. They told him to move on. Can you win a natty in rowing? Yeah, I guess you can.
Of course you can. Absolutely you can.
That's like a
no, it's a real. I think they give scholarships and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
They need to host one on the Black Warrior River.
Yeah.
You know, where McFarland goes over the bridge towards Northport. They need to have a section up there, where they row under the overpass so the fans can cheer and all that and drop stuff.
I've actually seen them out there on the river before practicing.
Oh, I have too.
It is pretty cool. They could go from that bridge to the highway, the 82 bridge.
I like it.
There's two bridges that cross there, so they could go between those two to be a nice little race course.
Yeah.
Speaking of golf, Barry, I know we've talked a lot about it. And yes, the PGA Championship is this week, and I got a text that I was asked to share that I got last night. It says, tell Barry and the listeners that it's PGA week from Quail Hollow, longest 2 par 5s and 4 par 3s this year on the tour. He says, I'll have a few plays for you guys on Thursday. Sincerely, Range Pro.
Range Pro.
Yeah, he's already doing the
research. To look forward to. You knew he was.
Oh, yeah.
You knew he
did not realize that they had two of the longest par 5s on the tour. That's those must be some really long holes.
Quail Hollow.
Barry, we used to years and years and years ago. This might even been before we were together. The senior tour, the Champions Tour, was in Birmingham at Greystone. It still is. The region's traditional championship. It's a major event on the senior tour, or Champions Tour, whatever they like to be called. The former grocery store chain Bruno's was the big sponsor when it first started. I actually saw Arnold Palmer playing that event one year, and we would actually go up and do our radio show from up there in the early days.
I was there. Yeah. I was there. I wasn't there during the radio show, but you and I went up there one time to watch it. That was the immortal time when you and I were listening to the radio, the coverage on the radio station up there, the live coverage with Ben and Herb.
Yes.
Ben Cook and Herb Winches.
That's right.
I don't think Ben's with us anymore. He may not be.
But, I don't think so. I know Herb is. Herb is a couple of very successful restaurants up on Lake Martin. He is really well with those.
And I've always said the best live commercial I ever heard in my life, it was Herb's account.
Yeah.
And it was a cigar store, like Fred's Cigar Shop or something like that. And they're up there doing live, and Herb goes, he turns it over to Ben. He says, Ben, we're here in part from the great friendship and sponsorship and support of Fred's Cigar Shop. Man, those cigars are really something, aren't they, Ben? Ben says, well, I don't smoke. Smoking can kill you. But if you did smoke, man, you couldn't do any better than the cigars. The cigar shop. I was dying.
I remember that one. I remember that.
Yeah.
So tomorrow they'll have a pro-am, kind of a good, funsy event, celebrities, sports stars, people of that like. Some of these people, I'm wondering, are they really celebrities? But anyway, I thought some of the pairings for the pro-am tomorrow were a little interesting. And you can go see the pro-am if you'd like. Go get a signature and whatnot. At 7:10 tomorrow morning on the first tee, Trent Dilfer, who I believe is the head coach at UAB.
Yes.
Yeah, he's teeing off first in this Pro-Am event. Kenny
Big
Perry,
hitter, long.
I don't know anybody else playing with Trent Dilfer. 750, you've got Nate Oates and Steve Stricker.
All right.
Stricker's a pretty good player. At 8 a.m., Bo Jackson will tee off with Darren Clark. At 8:10.
Was he the one they call Lumpy? Is that right?
I kind of think he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. 8:10, you've got Hugh Freeze and ground control to David Toms. Toms is an LSU grad or maybe from Louisiana, I believe.
Yes, from LSU.
8:20, we have Kirby Smart, Commissioner Greg Sankey, and Davis Love III at 8:20 tomorrow. How does Kirby get to play with the commish?
How does that happen?
Yeah.
Win anything last year? I don't know.
At 8:30, you've got Greg McElroy, A.J. McCarron, Taylor Hicks, and Tom Lehman.
Now, this is one where John says, okay, Taylor Hicks.
Yeah. What is he?
Is he still? Is he still a thing? I mean, he was, golly, the first. What do they even call it? The first American Idol guy or something like that?
Well, wasn't there one guy, a big guy from Birmingham?
Ruben Studdard.
Ruben.
Yeah.
I mean, does Ruben not play golf?
Oh.
Get him in on the action.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to have any side action in that foursome.
Taylor
I think they might. So 8:40, right behind that group, Kalen DeBoer and Ernie Els, the Big Easy.
And Ernie, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just teasing. That was a joke.
I understand. I was looking at somewhere else at the handicaps for these players. DeBoer's like a 19. Claims he doesn't get to play a lot of golf. He's got 2 scores that he put in at North River Yacht Club. I think a 99 and a 95, I believe it was. So,
right.
Kalen, stay away from the range and stay at the Camp Crisp indoor practice facility.
There you go. I've always thought so. If you're a coach and you're too good at golf, there is such a thing as being a football coach that's too good at golf.
Hugh Freeze claims he's a 5.9.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good golfer there.
Yeah.
At 8:50, how about this group? Nick Saban, Charles Barkley, and Stuart Sink.
Stuart went to Georgia Tech, but he's an Alabama native.
From Florence, I believe.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But that'll be – Saban will still be the guy, right? I mean, he'll still be the one that everybody crowds around. Everybody's going to, try to get a picture with him. He's going to have – he and Chuck, who's the most highly paid NBA analyst there is in the world, two soon to be billionaires.
Well, let me ask you this. I was thinking about this.
That's going to be the one to be at.
He's in the TNT studio tonight.
Right.
He's zipping over to Birmingham early tomorrow morning, playing golf, and then flying back to do the TNT studio show on Wednesday night. I guess.
Gotta be. Yeah. Gotta be.
Chuck gets
gotta
around.
Be. Nice. Yeah.
So at 9 a.m., you got to help me with some of these people.
All right. I'll give it a shot. I don't have it in front of me. Go ahead.
Yeah. Senator Tommy Tuberville.
He used to be the head football coach at Auburn many years ago, John. Famed for going undefeated and getting rooked out of a national championship and once holding a 6-game winning streak against his cross-state rival. Okay, so that's who that is. Okay.
Just a little side note. As you can tell, the River Region Straw VIP text line is hopping. When I mention Freeze's handicap, I'm just getting a text. Hugh Freeze is a 5.9 ? Is that his average win total per year? That's a pretty good one.
Not bad.
I missed that. All right, Tuberville, John Daly.
No, John. Yeah.
John Daly.
I once saw a note where John Daly played in a pro-am or something like that out in Lake Tahoe. And they kept track. On his 18 holes, they kept track. 9 cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
14 Diet Cokes.
Uh-huh.
And 6 packs of peanut M&Ms.
Woo! Breakfast of Champions. So Tuberville, John Daly will be joined by Riley Green and Jamie Johnson. You got to help me with those two.
Jamie Johnson is a country music star.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's also a Jamie Johnson who was a NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
Riley Green is a country music star. I don't know if they put 2 country music stars together with Tubbs and with John Daly. So the other one may be the Jamie Johnson, the retired NASCAR star who was once famous for being on our radio show with me and John. And John says, "I see you're from El Cajon, California." Drove me, made me smile because it's El Cajon. Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
And the last grouping, is this Daryl the Moose Johnston taking on, he'll be playing
Fox analyst, Daryl Moose Johnson, who was the fullback for Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, 1240 Daryl Johnson and little Corey Pavin is playing. So pretty good pro-am slate there. And some of these
he probably hits it just as far now as he did whenever he was in his prime in the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
which was not very far.
Not at all. So, great event. Don't get me wrong. Are those the only celebrities that are showing up? I mean, can they not get any more?
You got Chuck.
Just asking.
You got John Daly, Riley Green.
Yeah.
I don't know who else could be out there. I know who. Long story saying, give me John Smoltz out there. Who's a terrific. He's evidently a terrific golfer. Other than Chuck, where are the Alps?
Yeah, well, they're on the golf team, obviously, at number 1.
Maybe that's it. Maybe.
And I do remember now, Jamie Johnson, the country singer, Jeff Davis grad. I believe he owns what used to be called Rolling Hills out there off the Troy Highway off of Trotman Road.
Oh yeah, like Cottonwood or something
like that. I think he owns that. I'm not sure, but obviously
big old long beard.
Golf.
I think. Yeah, that's the guy. That's him.
Yeah,
that's him.
So there you have it.
They had another JD alum celebrity that would have made some time go up there.
Appreciate the invite.
Him and Sabes, him and Tubbs, him and DeBoer kind of carry that team.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. So there is that. We'll update you on the Braves. NBA. I guess we'll have to go to the fandom. I guess that comes up a little bit later on. Gurn Jr.'s Victoryland topic wheel. And also, of course, Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com, Travis Reier from Talkin' Tide and Reier on YouTube. And they're starting to sneak out a little bit ahead of tomorrow's release of the NFL schedule.
Yeah.
They always drop a couple ahead of time just to kind of get you, kind of get the hunger going. Oh, they dropped one yesterday that is, I think, pretty significant. We'll tell you about that as well coming up on the program. Glad you're along, whether you're on Spotify listening to us on the move, whether you are on our YouTube channel at Longshore and McKnight, whether you're watching us on Facebook at Longshore and McKnight, all of our content at Twitter and X and Facebook and all that kind of stuff as well. We are underway. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
This isn't going to work. No matter what we say, some people still drive drunk. But we're Budweiser. Giving a damn is what we do. So, if you think it's okay to drive drunk, if you think it's something that's debatable, or you just simply don't care, this Bud is not for you. Give a damn. Don't drive drunk. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs. All right, welcome back in. About 21 minutes past the hour. I really wanted to get in, jump into something you had just mentioned, Barry, but our friend John from Wetumpka, I guess we've got to start there. Yeah. Braves win in the bottom of the ninth, so let's hear all about it.
Yeah, Braves led pretty much since the third inning at home against the Washington Nationals yesterday. They led 3-1 after 5, and you think everything's going great, and they got their closer, 3-1 after 8 innings, and the Nationals scored 2 in the ninth.
Oh,
snap. So it's tied 3-3, but they get a base hit in the bottom of the ninth from Alex Verdugo, and Braves win, score a run, bottom of the ninth, walk it off, win it by a final score of 4-3 over the Nationals. And before John jumps the route, he would be right if he were to interject that the Nationals are terrible. He would not be wrong if he were to say, oh, here they go against those bottom feeders. He's right. But since they are fully fledged and paid up dues members of the National League, they are on the Braves schedule by necessity. Braves win. They are now 1 game under 500 after an 0-7 start.
Woo,
20-21 right now.
Yeah.
6.5 games back of first place in the East. Washington, with the loss, drops to, 8 games under 500. They're 10 games back in the division. Braves will play the Nationals again tonight.
Sure they will.
15. Former Atlanta Brave Mike Soroka will be the starting pitcher for the Nationals. Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound, trying to get his groove back for Atlanta. Spencer Schwellenbach.
Yeah.
Not Schmel. Schwell.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Braves aren't playing the Nationals again next week. I mean, why not? Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, that team ain't been any good since they were in Montreal. I mean, gee whiz. Unbelievable.
Played the World Series one year, but that's okay. Don't let that get out of
but they're not like the Florida Marlins that actually won it twice. That's always my go-to. I mean, as long as the Florida Marlins have a team, boom, 2 World Series titles.
Well, it's on the Braves. It is on the Braves to win a couple of World Series, which I'm okay with. For the Braves to win a couple of World Series and then make that point that John constantly brings up, make that point moot.
Yep.
Hadn't happened yet, though.
No, it's kind of like Heisman trophies. There was a program that really poked their chest out about how many Heisman winners they had.
Yeah.
And now that's not a topic anymore.
Isn't
so I get it
interesting that there was another program in the state of Alabama that used to laugh and be snide and chuckle about that first program's obsession over Heisman trophies and how it really didn't matter. Who cares about the Heisman? It's all about natties. until they started to win the Heisman. Then it's whoop, whoop, hey,
Well, I think I know the programs you're talking about.
Yeah.
At least that one doesn't put up statues of their Heisman winners. But
they do put up statues.
But and instead of the coach that won the national championship, who won it?
Can somebody confirm or deny? Because I do not know. We need to be like, actually not like. We need to follow the example set by Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon on whatever that show, and have somebody come in and tell us all.
I've been saying that for years.
Well,
I think that'd be a great idea.
Is this correct? Can anybody confirm? Jamie Johnson graduated from Sidney Lanier, and for you kids, Sidney Lanier used to be
the Poets.
Yeah.
Barry, I do not know. I thought I'd heard he went to JD, but I do not know. I cannot say.
Jason needs to be our guy. He said in regards to Barkley, last year they flew him to Atlanta and picked him up that morning, and they said he never came to the door. Turns out he had the flu and was very sick in bed.
So good.
Yeah, so hopefully Chuck's feeling better for that. Now, the NFL, their true schedule release of the full NFL schedule tomorrow night, 7:00. And they make a big production out of it. John, who loves schedules, gets the popcorn ready, maybe some Dreamland Dream Wings or something like that. He gets ready. He loves it. But they still trickle a few out.
Yeah,
they do. They released one yesterday or last night late. That's their first one. They'll also, they revealed one game overnight. Today, they'll, on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network, they'll release all 7 international games today. Tomorrow, CBS Mornings will unveil one game. Netflix will also be announcing, a scheduled game that tomorrow during the day. And tomorrow night's the deal. But
well, Barry, get ready for the Jags to be a lot of those international games.
Like at least 2, maybe 3.
They still play in Mexico City. Remember that was a deal that the Raiders would go play in Mexico City.
Mexico City. I think the Cardinals played there once or something like that. Maybe it was Raiders versus the Cardinals. But the one that they've announced so far came overnight, a playoff rematch between the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders.
When is that?
That game will be on Thursday, September 4th.
Or now?
No. Yeah. No, the Eagles and Commanders. No. That's just a rumor. No.
They're playing the Cowboys.
No. That's a rumor. I'm looking at rumors right here. That Eagles Commanders game, and also the Packers versus the Bears, that'll be December the 20th. That's the important part of it right there. December the 20th.
All right, so the Thursday
the 2 games, both of them on Fox, Packers and the Bears and the Eagles and Commanders will both be Saturday, December 20th. Here's why these are shots fired, John, because that is directly against the first round of the college football playoff.
Yeah, it is.
The NFL is trying to blow the college football playoff off the television map
because
with that one.
The television ratings will be higher for the NFL than they will the college football playoff.
And they know it. You know it. I know it. The college football playoff knows it. This is the NFL telling college football, hey.
Now, is this like an Amazon game or a Peacock game? Or
no, those are 2 Fox games. Back-to-back Foxes.
To me, that is Fox, who wants college football even more, going up against ESPN, who will be covering the college football playoff. Here's what struck me, though. I shouldn't be surprised. Really, I shouldn't. The first game of the year will be the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles hosting Take a pick. Anybody want to guess? Who would you think?
I absolutely
the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys on a Thursday on NBC in Philadelphia. That's not confirmed, but it will be. I mean, that's going to happen.
Well, I'd seen it somewhere, some release yesterday, and that doesn't shock me. But when I hear people out there, and I don't hear from many, but I hear a few, and they're vocal about it, talking about they're not any good. What have they done lately? And I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like Notre Dame, but people seem to like the Cowboys, whether they're good or not, and they put them on.
This is the bad thing about it, the un-American thing about it all. John takes pride in it. I don't care if they're not any good. Who cares? They're just popular. That is, I don't understand why he takes such pride in that. Who cares? They stink. That's fine. People watch them. Don't we want to aspire to excellence rather than just popularity? Heck, RuPaul is popular.
I'm not sure excellence makes the money that the advertisers want. Just look at some of the programming out there. I'm channel surfing the other day and run into some show called 16 and Pregnant. They actually have a show for that. I'm thinking, what the hell?
Do you want to be, do you aspire to excellence or popularity?
Well,
that's the conundrum for the Dallas Cowboys.
I think in corporate boardrooms when they're crunching the numbers and looking at the bottom line, they want their numbers to be as excellent as possible. And I guess the Dallas Cowboys bring them those excellent numbers. Whether the play on the field might not be excellent, they're making those numbers hit where they want them to. And hey, I'm with you. You know my feelings about the Cowboys. And I said, typical, sure. Yeah, put the Cowboys on again. And as I said last year, I think it was last season, maybe the season before. I mean, the Cowboys only had 2 12 o'clock kicks on Sunday afternoon. The rest of their games, 3:15 Sunday afternoon kicks, which is a prime window, or Sunday night, Monday night, or Thursday night. I'm thinking, why don't they ever play at noon? Everybody else has to play at noon. The Cowboys should too. Why? Because everybody loves the Cowboys.
Real quick before we go to Brian, the next day, Friday, September 5th, the strong rumor is, again, Cowboys Eagles open it up on a Thursday, NBC, blah, blah, blah. Friday, September 5th, Chiefs and the Chargers in Brazil on YouTube.
That's an interesting location for an international game. Chiefs and who?
Chiefs and the Chargers, home of Troy running back Kimani Vidal. The Chiefs and the Chargers in Brazil. That's the rumor. All the international games will be dropped tonight. Of course, Amazon Prime is taking a bunch. The sources, NBC.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll check in and see what's going on over the plains. AuburnSports.com. Brian Matthews is in the green room. He's waiting when we return. Longshore in McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Okay, about 25 minutes to the top of the hour, and our man Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com, joining us here. Hey, Brian, what's going on today?
Good morning. I used to have Dallas Cowboy pajamas that I wore, and I cried when they lost to the Steelers in the Super Bowl. But then I grew up and became a Falcons fan, and boy, is that so much better.
Yeah, no kidding. It's so much more well-adjusted and all of that. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Eric Guevara just hit another home run. 46 runs against South Carolina over the weekend. That's the most ever in an SEC weekend for Auburn baseball. Seems to me like they're peaking at a pretty good time, Brian.
They are swinging the bat. At least they did against South Carolina. Yeah, I do think this team has come into its own here late in the season, playing their best ball right now, and going into the postseason, we got one more weekend left with a lot of momentum, and they got a game against Jack State tonight, and then they go to Ole Miss this weekend, Thursday through Saturday, with the chance to do some special things here as we close out the regular season.
So I tried to explain to people, and I don't do a very good job, trying to explain how Auburn can be number 2 in the RPI right now, number 2 in the country in RPI. They're number 6 in the latest D1 baseball poll, which was my favorite poll to reference. But they're in a dog fight in a tie for 4th place in the SEC standings. How does that work out, Brian?
SEC is loaded. I think they're cruising to another national championship, whichever team it is. That gets the hottest there in June in Omaha. But Auburn's in a 3-way tie for 4th in the league, and right now they're 6th according to that tiebreaker. So they're going to have to go to Ole Miss and win the series if they're going to have a chance to finish in the top 4 and get that double bye in the SEC tournament next week in Hoover.
What has been the big difference with this team from last year to this year?
Biggest difference is pitching. Their pitching just fell apart last year. Really struggled on the mound all season long and could never find the answer. They flipped the starters to the bullpen. The bullpen to starters at one point didn't work. But a guy like Samuel Dutton has stepped up. Christian Chatterton, a freshman, has come in and been phenomenal. And they just had different guys step up at different parts of the season. But Dutton's been the guy all season. That's been their Friday night guy and been really consistent. Had a little bit of a rough outing this past weekend, but went through finals. Had to change up his routine because he had to go a day earlier. So I think all that kind of played into it.
Help me out with this. I'm drawing an absolute blank. The freshmen have been really, really good. I like Bub Terrell. And the other freshman, Chris
Rembert.
Yeah, my gosh. Those young players have been amazing.
And, if Eric Guevara didn't do what he did, right, batted 800, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, you could have given the SEC Player of the Week to Lucas Steele, who had 3 home runs and 6 RBIs, or Chris Rembert, who batted .615 and had 9 RBIs. So he continues to swing a really hot bat. They moved him up to the leadoff role, and he has really excelled there. And the other freshman, Chase Freilich, has been one of Auburn's top most consistent hitters all season, a big left-handed bat. So this freshman class, which is really heralded coming in, has really played up to its lofty rankings.
Spring sports, Barry and I were talking about it earlier today. There's certainly more and more interest in it compared to years past. I think softball, baseball, some of the other sports as well. Auburn's golf team, we were talking about what they're doing over there at the University Club this week. And it really is. It's kind of neat how they've always been there, but there seems to be more interest in spring sports than ever before.
That's a good point. I think part of that has to do with the SEC network, covering more games, getting it out there. And, I think Auburn's baseball team in particular, they expanded the stadium. It's really nice. They've set attendance records 3 years in a row. And, at least one of those years, the team wasn't very good, but they're still getting players, they're still getting people in the seats. So I think the head coaches deserve some credit for that too, for the way they promote the programs and just the type of the way they run the programs too. So I think a lot of things go into that. But yeah, I agree with you. Definitely some interest picking up, and Auburn in particular, when your football team's been struggling for a while, right? Fans want to latch onto something good. They've had basketball, of course, now, and most of the time in the spring they've had baseball too.
Brian Matthews is with us, auburnsports.com. We always check out all of the content. One of our musts to begin the week is BMAT's Monday Musings. You're not a big believer in the ability of a proposed presidential commission on college football to actually accomplish anything, are you, Brian?
I mean, I'd like to be, but I just think it's a bunch of noise about nothing. This commission, if it is formed, is not going to have any power, not going to have the ability to overturn a court case, implement anything. If they do implement something, somebody can just sue the NCAA, win the case, and it's out the door. So, real change is going to come only a couple of different ways. It's going to come if college administrators sit down with players, have them be some sort of employees, and hammer out some sort of collective bargaining. That's the best way to handle it right now. I think there's still wishful thinking among college folks that somehow the Congress is going to save them. They're going to pass some legislation, to have them better be able to regulate college sports. But I just don't think that happened. At least not today, and not in today's political climate. I just think that's going to be impossible right now.
And Brian, I think we all know these are issues that need to be addressed and changed and corrected today. We not 6 months from now, not
right.
18 months from now. And that's what really irritates me, is just how this process is just dragging on when we all know the coaches, the players, the presidents, the ADs, the commissioners, we need this action in place now. I don't understand why it's taking so long.
I think NCAA and college folks just have it in their head, how they want to, how amateurism was the best thing ever, and they need to get back to that, and they just can't get away from that. They're entrenched with that idea, and the idea that employment was going to ruin college football. But basically, we're here with employment, players being paid, but there is nothing on the other side. There's no employment contracts. There's no negotiation. There's no rules behind it. It's just free for all right now, and that's not the players' fault. It's not the lawyers' fault. It's the NCAA's fault for being so lack of vision, lack of leadership. All those things have brought college sports to this time and place right now.
Will we ultimately get to a ninth SEC game? I know there's a lot more money that has been revealed that ESPN's willing to pay.
I think that's absolutely coming. I think the SEC and Big Ten have their stuff together. They know how to run their conferences correctly.
Brian, I'm surprised he even asked you that question. I've been telling Barry that for 15 years. We're going to 9 games. He don't want to hear it. But
the only thing that was keeping it from happening was the money. And now that ESPN's agreed to do that, according to Athletic, it's coming. And it looks like all the other signs are pointing to going to the 4-4-2-2-3-1. 4 guaranteed spots for the Big Ten and SEC, which I know some people have issues with. But when you collect all these great programs and put them in 2 conferences, this is really, to me, the inevitable result of that. So that's what we're seeing. I don't think that's going to be changed. People are just going to have to get used to it. I do think with 3 at-large and 16 teams, I don't think we're going to miss anybody that could potentially win the national championship with that group. And my only hope for this thing that's probably not going to happen is more home games, more games on campuses. That would be a big plus for me.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I saw an article Kevin Skarbitsky wrote earlier this week, kind of a history lesson on postseason college football. How many different SEC teams have made the playoff, Big Ten as well, and just illustrating the dominance of the Big Ten and the SEC since we went to a playoff, even as far back as, what was it called, the BCS or something or whatever. It was really interesting to see how those two leagues had pretty much dominated postseason in football. So, heck, I get it. Why would you not give them the most bids?
22 or 27 national championships, I counted back through the BCS and playoff era, have come from the SEC, the current SEC and Big Ten as they stand now. Only Florida State, Clemson, I think were the only two teams. Miami were the only three teams that have, upset that group there. So, that's just the way it's going to be. And frankly, if you look at the ACC and Big 12, I think 2 automatic bids is great for them. Plus, if Florida State, Clemson, and Miami have a great year, they can take one of those at-large bids too.
Brian, where are we on the recruiting calendar? Is it recruiting visits? I mean, people are coming in, right?
We are about to blow up on the recruiting calendar. If you follow college football recruiting, for Auburn, it starts this weekend. I think they're going to bring in around 10 official visitors, and then for the next 3 or 4 weekends, more official visitors. And then, you get into mid to late June. In July, that's when these kids start making their decisions. So Auburn has, 6 or 7 commitments right now. I would look for them to be 15 to 20 within the next 2 to 3 months.
Brian, with the state of college athletics today, particularly football, NIL transfers, the money that it costs to attend a game, do you feel or see fans just being frustrated and have had enough?
Yes, I do definitely get that feeling. And it's not just that. The colleges are nickel and diamond fans in other ways too, because they're desperate to make money because revenue sharing is coming.
Yes.
So on top of all that, as you mentioned, ticket prices going up, everything going up, right? Hot dogs, whatever at games. And now you've got this 16-team playoff, and I'm assuming the first round will be at home colleges, and the rest you've got to go to some cities somewhere far off and pay for a hotel and do all this. That's just insane. And yes, I think there is going to be a pushback. I don't know how and when, because college football fans especially are so loyal and have so much love and support for the program. But eventually they're going to reach their limit, and I think it's coming.
All right. Somebody from the text line wants to know the hat, Brian. You've worn it several times now. The hat.
Yeah, that is Liverpool. That's my team, English Premier League.
There you go. That's what I
went to Auburn before I was a sports journalist. Auburn was the team I followed closely, and when I became a sports journalist, you kind of have to step away from that, right, and be objective.
Yeah.
And so I needed something for my fan, to outlet, right? And I picked Liverpool. Love it. It's a great football program to follow. Just won the Premier League this year, so excited for that.
Oh, what a front runner you are, Brian!
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go somebody like Leicester City or
They won back in 2016. That was
they did. Yeah, they did. But I got that. I got you. Yeah.
The playoff, I thought it was interesting. I wanted to just throw this out there. I'm with you. I think what college football is asking of their fans, not only regular season ticket packages and seat licensing and everything that goes with it, the travel, the commitment. I mean, you go to a football game in the SEC, it's an all-day deal. I mean, it's all day. And then to go to a playoff, I don't think the playoff powers that be are going to want to see stadiums with sections of empty seats. The professional leagues can get away with it at the Super Bowl or whatnot. But you watch a game in the second round that's being played in, Tampa, and there's a lot of empty seats. That's not what they want to see, but I get your point. I mean, you can only ask so much.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think we're starting to see that at some championship games, conference championship games, the attendance going down. And I do think if you get certain teams like in Alabama, Ohio State, teams that keep going back and back and back to the playoffs,
Right.
those fans are going to be like, I can't go to the second round game over here in Dallas. I can't do that. But maybe the semifinal or final, I can save my money for that. So, yeah, I think that's coming too. I think that's a great point. And unless these college leaders have a little vision and see this coming, they're just going to have to wait and have it happen to them and then make the changes.
Well, I hated to have to break up this little agreement fest here with a question about Liverpool.
Hey, this isn't the first time
for
it's
real,
happened.
man. No, I don't know. It's like
one good thing I will say though, if that played out, maybe it would position them or focus more on having these playoff games on campus,
right?
Instead of, I know they love these cities bidding on these things, and there's a lot of money to be made if X city plays more than Y. But I think if the attendance, because you're right, I mean, I know for some schools, wow, we're in the playoff, we're going, never been. Others, it's like every year, and I've been there, done that. So I think that could maybe position it where they're playing them more on campus, which to me is what college football is all about. I think the atmosphere is a lot better. I've been to way too many neutral site games, and it is just vanilla.
Yes, it is. It's not where college belongs, and it especially doesn't belong at the greatest part of college football, which is going to be this playoff, right? This is when it matters the most. It should be at home campus stadiums where the atmosphere is crazy. People are acting like fools and having a great time, and you got all the stuff that comes with being on a campus.
I mean,
well, all of that, and Uncle Keith's Red Sauce as well, which sponsors BMAT's Monday Music.
Is it Summer of Love you were talking about this week?
Yep. Procol Harum, Whiter Shade of Pale, right? The anthem of the Summer of Love. I learned a couple things in that one. The band was named after a cat, and they spelled the cat's name wrong. And
I wondered about that.
Yeah, and the name of the song came from one of the band members overheard a person at a party tell a woman that she looked a whiter shade of pale. I don't know why she looked this way, but apparently she did. So that's where it all got started back in 1967, the year of my birth. So
oh wow,
yep.
I've been told I'm a whiter shade of pale during the winter till I hit the beach for like a day or so.
Sun out. I can understand that. Yeah.
That movie that song was featured in the movie The Big Chill. I see. That was a great.
That was a great movie. Great movie.
Back in the 80s. Yep.
Yeah.
Our time to shine.
Kevin Costner was the actor that had taken his own life, which is why everybody was gathered for the funeral, but he never made the.
Barry, that when they showed the arm at the beginning where they slid his wrist, that's allegedly Kevin Costner's arm.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Allegedly that's the deal.
Learn important things here on the show every single morning, right?
Exactly.
Right. That's stuff that people won't get anywhere else.
That's right.
That's going to be somebody's Twitter handle by the end of the day. Kevin Costner's arm. Brian, Uncle Keith's Red Sauce, Southern style salsa.
Oh yeah.
It is
if you haven't tried it, you got to do it.
Homegrown right here in the state of Alabama. Very fresh tasting. You will love it. You can find it at Publix, Piggly Wiggly, Renfro, statewide. Order online, 15% off using discount code BMAT15. And for Auburn Sports, check me out on socials, BMATAU.
Excellent stuff as always, Brian. Thanks very much.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Take care.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Always good stuff with Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com on Tuesdays. A lot of agreeing today. I
remember back in the day when he was a little skeptical, because I've known Brian before he got involved with auburnsports.com, which has been forever ago. Used to live in Montgomery and, knew his wife, kids, and all that kind of stuff. And he'd be like, man, I can't believe you said that. No. Now all of a sudden it's, John, I think you're exactly right. John, I couldn't agree more. And I'm thinking, what alternate universe of the seventh circle of Hades am I in right now? It's crazy.
Yeah. You made the statement before, once you get to know me, people will say, that's not what I was expecting. He's really
he's a nice guy. Yeah. People are like, really? Oh, you just have to say that. No, he really is. I don't know. Well, you just say, I
will say I do get a lot of satisfaction when I am around the Auburn area, maybe at a sporting event or something, and I see some people turn their head and go, Oh, is that who I think that is? Wow.
What was he doing here? Yeah. Let's take a break. Coming up, Travis Reier on YouTube, Talking Tide, and a whole lot more. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, Marianne is joining me from Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry in Pepper Tree on Vaughn Road. And Marianne, the month of May is here. So many great things going on. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's May already. So many exciting things. We've got Mother's Day, graduations, weddings, showers, you name it. In May, we've got it. It's a jam-packed holiday-filled month, and we are ready to go to help you at Marguerite's because it is Earring Fest coupled with the rest of that. So what better way to help celebrate the lady in your life or the person in your life than beautiful earrings? Because, earrings, you don't have to worry about what size. They all fit.
They do all fit. You're right about that. With Mother's Day fast approaching, Earring Fest would be a great way to show Mom how much you appreciate her and love her, and so many different earring styles to choose from. Graduation gifts for the high school and college graduate as well. May seems to be a month that people like to pop the question as well. So you got that going on. And we can't forget, Marianne, Birthstone Emerald. I think I'm right on that for May.
Great job. Yes. I almost forgot. How dare I? Yes. Well played there, sir. It is emerald. So beautiful gemstone, lots of beautiful hues of green. We've got them in store at Marguerite's. Earrings, necklaces, rings, you've got it. So for all the May babies out there, you've got a great birthstone. Make sure that the person you love knows that you love those beautiful green emeralds.
Well, we know Marguerite's is open 7 days a week. Tell us where you're located and your hours of operation.
Sure. We're at 8163 Vaughn Road in the Pepper Tree Shopping Center, 7 days a week, 10 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 10 to 5 on Saturday, and noon to 5 on Sunday.
May is going to be fantastic at Marguerite's. Make sure you go by and see them. Thank you so much, Marianne.
Thanks.
All righty, welcome back in. Couple of minutes to the top of the hour. Travis Reier on YouTube, Talking Tide, in about 5 minutes or so. So let me make sure I heard this correctly.
Yeah.
News out. Somebody just said, speaking of that Michael Jordan is going to be a part of the NBC NBA studio coverage.
That is true. There's there's a lot of stuff that may be on the fabled Gurn Jr. Victoryland topic wheel.
Yep.
Michael Jordan will join NBC's NBA coverage next year as a contributor. Don't know what that means. Is he going to be sitting over on the side mumbling like Shaq, or is he going to be out in the field, or his whatever? Also, and that's going to be huge. Somebody texted me and said his new nickname will be On the Air Jordan. Those are the new shoes. But also that round ball rock theme song. See if Gurn can pull that one. The round ball rock theme song that was there during Jordan's heyday is going to be coming back next year, and maybe late, maybe early in the season. They're going to go all in on the 90s nostalgia. When NBC has their NBA coverage next year, it's going to be a ton of 90s nostalgia. The Bulls, the Spurs, they're going to be all of that stuff. Back when teams were teams and not just individual collections of superstars and free agent signings and stuff like that. But yeah, Jordan will be a part of that. Also, a little bit later on, we're going to go into the NBA playoffs. Interesting result on several levels from the games last night. We'll talk about that. And how about this? Somebody asked about this the other day. We're all talking about, ever since the end of the college basketball tournament, the March Madness, where is Cooper Flagg going to go? We saw him play. He's terrific. He is the ultimate number one choice. Well, you get the lottery in the NBA to pick. I think they've got ping pong balls or whatever, and they're weighted. The ping pong, the lottery is weighted towards teams with bad schedule, with bad results.
Yep.
But it's not always the worst team gets to go first. They put them all together. You get more balls. if you had a bad season than if you're just barely missed the playoffs. Well, the Dallas Mavericks, they had a 1.8% chance of winning the lottery. 1.8%. And they vaulted 10 spots because they won the lottery.
Yeah.
Mavericks, who were not bad. I mean, they weren't great, obviously, but there were 14 teams in the lottery, and the Mavericks were rated like 11th. Well, 1.8% chance they get the ping pong ball. They get to draft Cooper Flagg. Spurs second. The Pelicans, who were terrible, will get to draft 7th.
That ain't gonna help them. They gotta. They need somebody a little higher.
Yeah,
than 7th. They
got
to
swung
trade.
And missed on Zion.
Oh,
so,
did they?
They had their chance.
And I think it was a similar situation. I don't know if they were as big of a long shot as the Mavericks were to get that. They were a long ball, shot, but they got it, and they picked Zion, and it has been a bust. But I understand Joe Dumars, the new GM of the Pels, he's setting a new tone down there. There's a new sheriff in town down there.
His name's Reggie Hammond.
And maybe a little bit different attitude on the floor next year. We'll see how that plays out. So we're watching. I don't want to jump ahead. So the little lady, she was watching something else. I was in another room. She comes, she goes, "We're not going to watch this, are we?" She goes, "What do you care about this game?" I went, "Oh, I care about this game." You
remember me? You remember you coming in, honey, and asking me that about a couple of other games now and then during the football and NFL seasons?
That's right.
The reason why I care so much about this game is the same reason why I cared so much about those other games with teams that you had never even heard of before. The reasoning's still the same.
Oh,
it's just the game's changed, darling.
And she looks at the two teams and says, "Does Larry Bird still play for the Celtics?" And I went,
"That's a very John question."
Yeah, and
Bill, is he still out there? You know, that kind of a thing.
And then she said, "Is he still alive?" I went, "Yeah, I think he's still alive, but no, he's not. He's not playing for the Celtics anymore." Yeah. She goes, "Do you know any of these people playing on these teams?" I went, "Yeah, no,
yeah. This guy covered for me. This guy hit a big 3 to get into the number back in February. I know that guy too. That guy flubbed a couple of free throws at the end. Cost me. I mean, I didn't like him very much. So yeah, to answer your two questions, sweetie, Larry Bird doesn't still play. He is alive.
Yeah, he is.
But he's 68 years old now.
Golly, is he really? Man.
Yep.
68
years old. Just in case you're wondering, just to give you an idea, again, they're going retro back to the 90s. Charles Barkley.
Yep.
62. Magic Johnson. 65 years old. Magic is 65. And MJ, who's going to be back on NBC's NBA coverage next year, Michael Jordan, 62 years old.
Man, he's like our age. Man, that is impressive.
Yes.
Hey, joining us now, as he does each and every Tuesday at this time, our man Travis Reier on YouTube, Talking Tide. Hey, Travis, good morning. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing better than those guys. It's crazy how they keep getting older and I don't.
You know. Well, plus they start looking older, and man, Travis, still the same. He's like the Matthew McConaughey character in Dazed and Confused.
Exactly. I was watching a movie last night with Vince Vaughn,
Yeah.
And that was like wow. And it's a movie he just made, I guess, for Netflix. And
yeah.
Wow. It starts to get real, really real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hard living, though. I think some hard living contributes to some of that.
Some of those people are our age, but they've lived a little harder in their lives than
a little more access.
Yeah,
more access.
Barry's like a poster child that still has that flowing blonde hair. Not a wrinkle on his face. I mean, Barry's lived the clean life.
Well, Barry's the consummate example of clean living. You know? So
meanwhile, a field goal goes wide left for Longsore in a critical game on the West Coast on a late Saturday night / early Sunday. Those will put wrinkles on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tend to do it to ourselves. We don't like to admit that, but that's kind of how it goes, right?
All right, let's get down to business here. Go ahead, John.
Well, I was just going to say, Barry mentioned earlier today, the NFL is trickling out some of their key games before they have the schedule released tomorrow night, like the opener, some Christmas games. And then he mentioned something about the release of some international games. They haven't been officially announced yet.
They'll be announced today ahead of the full release tomorrow. 7 international games.
How many will the Jags be in?
I think the Jags are just going to be in 1 this year, which is down from the 2 that they typically spin over there as a home and an away team. So I think they're just going to make the typical 1 that Shad Khan likes to make over to London. That's pretty much going to be it. It's pretty crazy though how that approach has expanded, and having attended 3 of those games now over there just in the London area, it's something to witness, because those folks over there love their NFL too. And I know you've got some folks that are probably from the U.S. that live over there or whatever, but no, I mean, most of the people I've met over there, they're British. They're coming from Spain. They come from all over for those games. It's pretty amazing.
It's the spectacle of it all. Also, and I'd love to get your guess on all of this. They mentioned that the Eagles and Cowboys will open the schedule on a Thursday in Philly on, I think, September 4th. But they've also released, they'll have Eagles and Commanders from D.C., and the Packers at the Bears on Saturday, December 20th. And Travis, to me, that's a direct shot by the NFL across the bow of college football, because December 20th, an NFL doubleheader on a Saturday, goes directly against the college football playoff first round.
Yes, it does. And it's going to be interesting from this point forward to see how that all works. And look, you've got an expanding college football playoff, so you're going to need more dates. But the NFL is typically, as we know, late in the regular season, has occupied those Saturday spots. And we've been very appreciative of those in previous years when we didn't have college football, like on December the 20th, a Saturday, or, something recognizable in terms of championship caliber college football. So, maybe a little bit of a turf war, but the NFL is going to do the NFL. I think we all know that at this point.
They're going to win.
Yeah,
that day.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean, obviously in certain parts of the country like this, depending on the playoff viability, maybe of some of the teams in the NFL in this part of the country, but even with that. The Alabamas, the Auburns, the LSUs, they're gonna do just fine in terms of viewership. But certainly in other pockets, like even the Midwest, the Northeast, out West, it's still going to be an NFL situation.
Yeah, I can't imagine the playoff higher ups are going to like seeing some of those ratings if those NFL games outrate the playoff, which common sense would tell you that they would.
Especially after the first round blowouts we just had too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Those were so bad. You as much as you might love college football, by the third quarter of most of those games, you were looking for pro bull riding or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty bad.
We were talking earlier, Travis, just about how college athletics, college football in particular, just the expense of it, the demands on the fans, from seat licensing to season tickets to travel, the whole deal. And if they do end up with a 16-team playoff, that's just asking the fans to travel even more. What's the breaking point of where, I can only go to so many games, I can't go everywhere? Are they going to rely on these host cities to fill these stadiums up? Or do you see maybe a day where they play more of these games on campus to kind of have more of a true college feel rather than a corporate NFL feel?
Yeah, I've been thinking there's a bubble breaking point coming for a while now, and to the credit of college football fans, we really haven't seen it as of yet. But certainly, as you ask more fan bases to travel, the thing is, as you expand the fan base, the playoff, you're going to give more first time opportunities to fan bases to attend a college football playoff, right? Just look at Ohio State, Tennessee in this most recent playoff.
Yeah.
Ohio State fans didn't fill Ohio Stadium. Tennessee fans did. So, you can kind of draw on the excitement the other way too. Whereas, if it's a fan base like Ohio State that's asked to go on the road in a first round, but, they're going somewhere that hasn't hosted a playoff game in the past, yes, that home fan base is more than going to take care of the occupancy. But I keep wondering the same thing myself. And to the credit, I guess, of college football fans, and I'm thankful for them, they keep answering the bell.
But there is a bubble.
There
is a bubble.
There is, because you don't have to spend $4 or $5 grand. And so it once the novelty sort of wears off a little bit, you do wonder.
Well, I mean, I've seen that
with fan bases are going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've even seen that with Alabama fans. I mean, Saban and they were spoiled, and there was so much success and a lot of opportunities to travel. But I mean, during that 17-year run, there was a lot of traveling. If you were an Alabama fan, whether it was an opening game somewhere at a neutral site, or going to a bowl game, or going to the playoffs,
even for bad teams.
And I can kind of see some of those numbers, shrinking from, that Rose Bowl game against Texas, and there were 50,000 Alabama fans, to last time they were out there against Michigan, not as many.
Yeah, and that's certainly a possibility. And again, 2009, that was the first time in a long time for Alabama, right? So the excitement was certainly at a pinnacle, at a peak back then. But even under Saban, as you said, at the end of his tenure, it had started to wane a little bit. And, you can say what you want, but you can become a little bit disconnected, a little desensitized to it all when you go on a run like that. But I think there's actually more fan bases than not that are still going to load up and go. And Alabama's will be one of those, because Alabama's has always done it. I mean, Alabama went to Hawaii with Mike Shula pretty well, traveled out there. So,
well, that was their replacement bowl. Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of a bowl game situation, but still, the point remains. And, I think it's good for Alabama fans when you look to this season. That Tallahassee road trip's nice, right? I mean, you can day trip that in a lot of situations.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because you're based in Jacksonville, but really, you've got contacts all over the place, and your reach is a lot farther than Jacksonville or the state or even the Southeast. But you're in Jacksonville. Is Jacksonville, and my parents lived there for forever. Is it a Florida State town? Are you getting any sort of a vibe about how they're positioning that game on August 30th against the Tide?
No, it's a Gator town, first and foremost.
No doubt.
Big time Gator fan. Jacksonville's interesting because it's almost a potpourri of fan bases. It's very much a Gator town, but then after Florida, you get into sort of this mix. I would say probably Florida State next, but there are a ton of Georgia people in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a ton of South Carolina people in Jacksonville. Columbia, South Carolina is only 4.5 hours away. So you've got this proximity to about 6 or 7 programs. There's a lot of Alabama people in Jacksonville.
There are
Auburn people. So it is. It's kind of this kaleidoscope of fan bases, which makes it pretty cool. Once football, so you'll see car flags for about 8 or 10 different schools flying around in the fall.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Auburn fans, Travis. I've traveled a lot of places on this planet. I always run into somebody with an Auburn hat on. They're everywhere.
I just think it's because you
When I
noticed
lived in Tuscaloosa, my neighbors on each side were Auburn fans. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of them. There's no doubt.
I just think John has that radar.
Oh, they no doubt. Boom.
But with that being said, I mean, I get the Florida State fans positioning this as, their return to relevance. This is the game where they nuke LaLucia, where they announce their presence with authority and all that type of stuff.
Gus has got the Bama code. Don't forget it.
Yep, the offensive coordinator. Yeah.
Yeah, it better be for Mike Norvell. You can't have a repeat of last year. So they bring in Thomas Castellanos at the quarterback position from Boston College. He seems to be a nice fit for what Gus likes to do on the offensive side of the ball. I think there's some cautious optimism. I think last year was just so bad. There is certainly a greater sense of trepidation going into the 2025 season, especially when you're going to bring Alabama to town in week 1.
I think that's, there again, as we get closer to that game, there'll be more talk about it. But I think we all know that could really, really jumpstart Florida State after an embarrassing year last year. Malzahn's back. He's their offensive coordinator, got kind of a new feel over there. And if Kalen DeBoer in year number 2 goes to Tallahassee and lays an egg, boy.
There's pressure both ways. I mean, look, you're the head coach at Alabama. There's pretty much always pressure, but you try to think back. When's the last time Alabama lost a season opener, too?
Yeah.
That is a good question.
But for Kalen, bringing in Ryan Grubb, returning what appears to be a very college football playoff capable roster, it needs to be a little bit of a statement in week 1. And even if that's the case, you're still going to have we'll see what happens when Georgia rolls around. You get that.
Right.
But you definitely don't need a sort of Norman revisited type of performance for sure.
That's Vanderbilt, Oklahoma have definitely got to disappear for
on the road in general. I mean,
yes.
For Salem, that's where it's either going to happen or it isn't. Tallahassee, Auburn, South Carolina on the road isn't going to be a treat. You get Oklahoma and Tuscaloosa, you get Tennessee, you get LSU. That's great. But you go to Georgia, you go to Tallahassee, you go to Georgia, you go to Columbia, and you go to Auburn. And that's, to me, that's where this season will be kind of defined in those games.
Matter of fact, they go to both Columbias this fall.
Yeah.
Go to both of them.
That's right.
You two guys are Florida guys. You piqued my interest. What city in Florida is a Florida State town?
Gosh, other than Tallahassee,
not even like Pensacola.
I'll go Thomasville, Georgia.
Bainbridge, maybe.
I was thinking Pensacola. But I'm in Pensacola quite a bit. I see a lot of Auburn and Alabama flags.
There's a lot of Gator people there too.
Yeah.
A lot of fighting Gators.
I just maybe Florida
Panama
State's
City, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see Panama City, man.
Live Oak. Yeah,
Live Oak.
Apalachicola, maybe.
Right there at the Busy Bee. You can get all the Florida State stuff you want.
Hey, now that's a pro tip right there, because I've been to that Busy Bee over and over and over again. Tell them Travis.
That's where, remember all the Fryer brothers, Matt Fryer, Todd
Fryer?
The
wide receiver. They have those RV places.
They had the big trailer and RV place there, Fryers. That's their,
Matt Fryer was a little possession receiver for Florida State for years, and he parlayed about a 70% third down catch for first down ratio into an RV empire.
He gave actually the original Tebow, I call it, because Tebow, after the Ole Miss loss in 2008, gave the tearful post-gamer.
Yeah.
That this would never happen again. And he was right. He was prophetic.
Yeah.
But Matt Fryer, after the 93 Florida State loss to Notre Dame, he did pretty much the same thing, if you recall. And then the next week, Notre Dame lost to Boston College in South Bend, and Florida State got the shot and made good on it.
The rest is history.
Got to watch out for the Golden Eagles of Boston College. They can trip you up.
Especially when Tom Coughlin was coaching them.
And now the quarterback at Boston College who beat Florida State last year, he's at Florida State now. So
well, you know, Alabama's had some problems with Boston College quarterbacks. I was at one of those games.
Doug Flutie was a problem. Kerry Good doesn't get hurt, though. Kerry Good doesn't get hurt. That's the if he doesn't get hurt game for Alabama.
That's right. Because he ran back the second half kickoff, if I'm not mistaken.
Geez.
Night game at Legion Field. Oh, Barry, I can remember it was yesterday. Doug Flutie out there running around.
That was
was it the next year, Travis, or the year prior that they played them up there and it had an ice storm?
Foxborough Stadium, That was the old Patriot Stadium where they played.
Yeah, it was basically two bleachers.
Lost that game too.
I can't remember, what I just bought 10 minutes ago at the grocery store, but I can remember stuff like that.
Wow, I'm not like you. Me too.
The older we get, man.
Alzheimer's. Yeah.
Well, I do. We want everybody out there to remember all of the different things Travis has got going on YouTube. Just give a snapshot of everything that Ryer on YouTube comprises.
Well, you just never know. I mean, it could be Alabama Talk with Chase Goodbread of the Tuscaloosa News. It could be a chicken salad review from a golf course in a remote location out on the Panhandle. We talk some SEC football in general there with my great friend Brent Beard. We talk some NFL. So kind of a stew we have there at Ryer on YouTube. And also you can catch me on the social at Twitter/X at Travis Ryer, TravisReier.
Hey, quick, before we let you go, you got a PGA selection for the tournament this week at Quail Hollow?
I mean, after Scotty shot like 96 under on that Muni in Dallas, it's hard not to go with him. But you know what? JT he's won there, as we know. And he's playing really good golf right now. So JT would probably be my pick. And then I get into the Scotty. I get into, the rest of those guys. Rory, those guys.
Yep, I hear you. Excellent stuff. Travis, as always, it's a great benefit to us. We appreciate your input.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
You too, buddy. Thank you. Travis Ryer on YouTube, Talking Tide. Check him out. Always a great conversation. Well,
never know. You never know with Ryer on YouTube. They got all that stuff. I'll never forget that time Troy baseball was playing at Jacksonville University in a 3-game series, and I was down there to do the game. I come, set up doing the game up there at JU, and during right before we went on the air, what do all broadcasters do? They go down and use the bathroom. And my sister Melanie was there, and my nephew Stephen was there, and everything. We're talking with him, coming back up, full house at the thing, and there's Travis sitting in the stands with his dad. And visited with them, took a selfie, and all that kind of. You never know where you're going to see Travis Ryer. The man gets around, John, kind of like the Alls.
Right about
now. This real quick. This from our buddy John Dent, who normally, when John Dent is on the chat line when he makes a comment about my personal appearance or something, and he points out, hey, a lot of us Bammers in Opelika, Barry's backyard. I'll never forget this, and there are a few. There are a few in Opelika, which is right outside of Auburn, obviously. But I'll never forget that time on an Iron Bowl broadcast. I was listening to the Crimson Tide Sports Network, and they had Tom Roberts and Doug Layton, and they were talking on the pregame show. And Tom, who I love very much, he said, there's some talk that there are more Bama fans in Opelika than Auburn fans. And Doug Layton says, now, Tom, let us not lose our minds here. Yeah, there's a bunch, but there ain't all that many. I'll go ahead and tell you that. Oh,
Bama fans in Opelika. Interesting. I did not know that. Yeah. All right. When we come back, we have some NBA action tonight to talk about, and some last night to talk about.
Lots of stuff to get to in the NBA. Lots of stuff to get to for the remainder of the program.
Mm-hmm.
In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
On the basketball court, the soccer pitch, or even the golf course, your crew brings their best not just for the win, but for that post-game celebration. When victory tastes like Michelob Ultra, it's worth every drop of sweat. And if you don't win, you'll still get the beer. It's just on you. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Ford announces employee pricing on every new 24 and most new 25 Fords, and only at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, up to $5,000 below employee pricing, plus no payments for 90 days. From America, for America, at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, home of America's best-selling truck for nearly 50 years in a row, the F-150, with hundreds to choose from. The Ford Escape, the Ford Edge, and the Ford Bronco, all priced at thousands below invoice. And pack up the crew in a Ford Expedition or a Ford Explorer for the beach, the lake, or the big game. It's all at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where price sells cars. All right, we're about 26 minutes past the hour here on a Tuesday, Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Just scanning the River Region Straw chat line. It's very interesting chat today. I see Tobias has chimed in. Dennis Mitchell is in today.
Tobias, well, first let's go to Dennis. He says, "Hi, John and Barry. I have a question for both of you. Are you fans of Bob Seger?" Yeah.
I
love me some Bob Seger. You're talking. It's not always old time rock and roll and stuff. He's had some great stuff, really good stuff.
Hollywood Nights is really the only tune that I ever listened to.
Oh, Catmandu?
No.
Come on now.
Shakedown, Breakdown. What was that one from?
You're Busted.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, the Bob Seger one. On the road again, up on the stage. That's pretty good. But rock and roll never forgets.
Turn the page. Turn the page up.
There you go. Also, too, Barry, have you ever heard Story Time with Dutch Mantell and Jim Cornette podcasts? Thank you. I've done many things in my life, John.
Yeah.
A lot of things that I'm proud of. A couple of things I'm not. The Jim Cornette and Dutch Mantell podcast is something that my life has not included. I have not had that.
Must be wrestlers. I'm saying
there's wrestlers. Okay. He does say this, guys. I was wondering if the Detroit Lions will ever win a Super Bowl. Dennis, they are. They're going to make us. They're one of the only franchises that has never been in the Super Bowl. They're making it this year. Mark it down.
I think, Dennis, the Detroit Lions are wondering if they'll ever make the Super Bowl.
Yep. Now
they're fans.
Now to Tobias, because it's a good.
Do we there again? Since you bring up the Lions, can the NFL do we have to have the Lions and the Cowboys every Thanksgiving? Can we have somebody?
Different? Here he is griping about the overexposure of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
How the turntables. Amazing. The Lions, yes. And I kind of like that. That's all right. Tobias says, and we're talking about the coin flip or whatever it was, the lottery for the NBA first pick. The Mavericks had a 1.8% chance and they won the lottery. The Bulls had the same record as the Mavericks. The Bulls lost the coin flip to Dallas. The Mavericks will end up with Cooper Flagg, and the Bulls will pick 12th. Are those your only choices? You win the coin flip, you go first, you lose it, you go 12th? That ain't fair. Come on now.
Yeah.
But
that's tough.
Here's the deal. Last night in the NBA, as Simone says, I guess it's pretty serious right now. In the NBA, last night was the Western Conference semifinals and the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Timberwolves in the West have gone out now. The Minnesota Timberwolves, with about 40% of you didn't realize was a franchise, the Timberwolves go up 3-1 over the Golden State Warriors, who are in bad shape with Steph Curry with a hamstring pull. Timberwolves win it last night, 117-110 at Golden State.
Yes.
To go up 3-1 in that series.
And they covered that game as well.
That's the semifinals. They'll play in Minnesota on Wednesday with a chance to clinch. The other game.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that one.
Well, I mean, if you want to know. Okay. That's the Eastern Conference semis being played in New York, where curiously the Knicks, what was it? Plus 6.5 in that game.
They were, yeah.
Plus 6.5.
Yep.
It was a bad night for the Boston Celtics.
It was.
Not only did they lose the game outright, favored by 6.5. Not only did they lose the game outright, but in like the last 2-3 minutes of the game, their star player, Jason Tatum, goes down with an injury. If it's an Achilles tendon, that would be, career changing, maybe career ending.
Yeah.
And number 3, I don't think anybody in America saw that final score coming except for the Phantom.
Well, I did not see Jason Tatum's injury.
It was late in the game.
Tell you,
it was not going to impact the outcome. Don't be saying, well, they would have won it without Jason Tatum. No, they were losing that game because his injury came in the past couple minutes.
You might want to check the line score just to get the official number. This guy was killing it from 3-point line. Night. I mean, Tatum was, he was throwing up 30-footers that were going in. I'm thinking, geez. And you got to guard this guy. He's killing us. But he did go out with an injury. Maybe that swung the momentum a little bit. I tell you, Jalen Brunson for the Knicks, I've been watching this guy for the last month or so. He can play. He is gritty.
And he's a clutch guy. And it happened in the series. What was it? It was the Rockets. I'm not sure. No, it wasn't. I can't remember. But anyway, I was watching it whenever we were in the hotel room somewhere else. He's the guy. He is a guy that when the game is on the line, he wants the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
John, you know a lot of guys out there that have good numbers.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes down to it, they're looking for somebody else to make the pivotal play. This guy wants it.
He is. He's gritty. He's fun to watch. And watched a lot of the second half of that game. Down 11, Barry, at halftime. Down 11.
Yeah.
But didn't worry. I mean, it got a little text from Range Pro, and I said, hey, got to have a little help here. Down 11 at half. He said, no sweat. You'll pull it out. And the great third quarter for the Knicks, but got tied late, like at 99, 101, something like that late in the game. Yeah. But the New York Knicks were able to pull away last night as a 6.5-point home underdog, and they win the game outright. As you mentioned, 121-113. They go up on the Knicks 3-1, and the Phantom gets, had a little bump there, but he got back into the winning ways last night with the Knicks winning outright.
Despite 42 points from Jason Tatum.
Got to cover that guy.
He is down. Yep. Non-contact injury. It looks like it might be an Achilles tendon, which would be absolutely cataclysmic. But again, I don't know that he would have led them to victory because it was late in there. But John, I think we can agree now. The Celtics, as the number 2 Eastern seed, done. No chance.
I would think so.
It'll be the
and
Knicks
I wonder the same
on.
thing about. I kind of think the same thing about Golden State. Are they done too without Steph?
Yeah.
You got to wonder. Of course, those two the games that were last night, they'll meet again tomorrow. New York at Boston, Golden State at Minnesota. But let's look at tonight before we get to tomorrow night. And we got 2 games tonight.
Yeah.
6 o'clock in Cleveland, the Indiana Pacers, who are leading that series 3-1 at Cleveland, followed by Denver at Oklahoma City. That series knotted up 2 games apiece.
Yeah.
That's at 8:30 on TNT. So, yeah, Barkley's going to be busy today, playing golf and then head back over to the TNT studios in Atlanta for the NBA coverage tonight. We're going early. We're going early game tonight, Barry. We're going to, even though the Pacers are up 3-1 and they're on the road, they might not win tonight. They might not. But can they keep it within the 8 points? I believe that they can. I'm looking at several betting services here that have the Pacers as an 8-point underdog. A few of them have them at 7.5. This game opened at 9.5, and we've seen it drop.
Well,
obviously, there's some money on Indiana, and I think that's the smart money as well. We're taking the Pacers plus the points on the road at Cleveland tonight.
Yep. The Phantom, I think, has gotten information on that game. The Cavaliers' best player, Donovan Mitchell, re-aggravated his ankle in the last game. The word is that they say he's a game-time decision. The early indication is that he's going to be able to play, but he's not going to be 100%. So that's why the line has dropped.
Tough to those ankles. You got to give him a little time. So,
kidding.
We're going Pacers tonight plus the points. 6 o'clock on TNT.
There you go. When we come back, it is the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel that'll drive us until the top of the hour. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Grab some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders.
Okay, about 20 minutes to the top of the hour here on a Tuesday. I hope you've enjoyed everything so far. Of course, you can watch and listen at your leisure, at your convenience. Of course, Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, Spotify, YellowHammerNews.com. You can always check us out there. Always a write-up every afternoon about what the show consisted of. So always check that out at YellowHammerNews.com. Tomorrow, CJ Duncan will join us here on the program as he does on Wednesdays.
We got a couple of emails you can actually interface with us at longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. Now, our buddy John Dent, big time, not only a partaker of our content, but a contributor as well. He sent us an email of what looks to me like, I mean, it's shrimp from the Destin Connection.
Okay.
He had the Destin Connection shrimp, and he fixed up some surf and turf.
Woo.
Check that out on the email.
Man, John, thanks for that.
Very nice.
Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com if you'd like to email. I know Coach is a big emailer to the program. We appreciate that. And certainly, you know, all the staples from years going by, Frank, Curtis, Ralph, Punja, all the others. Yeah, come on.
Open for you. One of the great things about our email, Longshore and McKnight, is something can happen and you're like, oh man, I need to make sure John and Barry handle that in the morning, that they know about this. Doesn't matter when it is. I mean, if you can't, you can't chat when we're not live, but you sure can email, and we would check those all the time. So yeah, this is how you get content to us. Anytime.
And I do see that, that, you know, when I'll come back and open up my laptop in the morning and I'll see that there've been some emails overnight or late afternoon or whatnot, whatever it may be. Appreciate that. But yeah, great way to communicate with us. Great way to be a part of the show. So I mentioned the Pro-Am at the Regions charity. And they actually use handicaps, which this to me is a funsy event. What do you need a handicap for? And a lot of these coaches really don't have a lot of time to play golf, I wouldn't imagine. I know Spurrier tried to play a lot.
Spurrier's also getting up there. You know, I mean, the guy, he's always played a lot of golf. He always used to make fun of people who brag about how much time they spent at the office. Well, I'm working 11 or 12-hour days, and I think that's one of the reasons why he got out is because it's 24/7, 365. But, I mean, he's 80 now.
Yeah.
He's 80 and a half now. So, yeah, the man was born in 1945, for goodness sake. So,
DeBoer got has had it as low as 17.4. He claims he's a 19.6. Coach, that's where it needs to be. You don't need to be playing golf. But I did not know that Hugh Freeze was as good as good a golfer as he is. He carries a 5.9 handicap and has a full slate of 20 scores listed for 2025. Hugh Freeze has played 20 rounds of golf.
Well, those are the ones he has listed. That doesn't count, the scramble that he got to go through at the Auburn University Club or hitting a few, see, that's what I like. I love it that the fact you may take it too seriously if your handicap is 19.6 or 5.4 or something like that. I mean, give me just a general vicinity, I mean, shouldn't your handicap be a round number? Okay, just add
no. Well, this is what you do there. When you're with your buddies on the first tee and they're going, all right, what's your handicap? You go, well, it's a 5.7. I will just round that up to a 6. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not about to round it up. Nope, not going to happen.
5.7. Well, I mean, do you have to have on the first tee, do you have to have some sort of authentication, or is the opportunity wide open for sandbagging a little bit? I mean, you've got to have like an app on your phone. Look, here I am right now, according to the USGA. Is it like your credit score where it can go, no, up a little bit? Or
Well,
is it firm?
unfortunately, Barry, golf is supposed to be a gentleman's game, and like you call penalties on yourself and things like that.
You leave your car keys in your bag instead of in your pocket, so you can.
Unfortunately, I have been associated with some golfers that don't put scores into the handicap computer anymore because they've gotten their handicap where they want it and they don't want it to move away from it. So maybe they conveniently forget to post a score that was really good, and they've even forget to post a score that was really bad because they're set on the number that they're comfortable with. I don't know. They're probably a 3 or 4 handicap, but they've still got that 8 or 9. They're keeping it. So when member guest tournament comes around and things of that nature, and this guy says he's a 9 handicap, but they're shooting 6 under as a team, I'm thinking,
oh, you get the stink eye then, right?
So some tournaments let that tough kind of stuff kind of slide. One in particular in the last several years, I played in an event like that over in Atlanta in October. Done the show from over there before I've teed off. Well, they are very strict about the handicaps, and so when I'm invited to go, which is several months prior, and I'm looking at all the brochures and everything involving the tournament. One of them is you've got to have X number of rounds posted in 2025 to be eligible to play. And they call to check. They look it up. They make sure you're not sandbagging and sitting on a number that's been your handicap since 1984. Not going to work.
People will do that? There's that type of thing that happens in golf?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Barry, I can tell you about it at a local level where it happens.
Don't name any names, though. Don't name any names. No,
it just drives me insane. But be that as it will, be that as it may, Barry, I'm a big stickler. I mean, I'm not looking for a shortcut. I'm not looking for an angle. I'm not looking to get over on somebody.
Don't count that, Danny.
Particularly when it's golf. Yeah. So handicaps. I don't know. Yeah. This is one of the best things I've heard about a club or a golf course or whatever when it comes to handicaps. If you have a handicap, you've signed up for one, and you do not post a score after you play, they're going to post a score for you, even par. They're going to put a 72 in the system for you if you don't do it. I'm thinking that'll get you posting your score.
I was wondering about that. How do they compel the golfer who's a little slow,
a little shady
on posting their score?
Yeah, they post the score for you. That'll stop that real quick. All right, I see Gurney's got the Victorland 777 topic wheel locked and loaded. It's kind of warming up a little bit, stretching, if you will, kind of like a pitcher in the bullpen. What's it called, the bullpen? What's a bull got to do with it?
Well, it's just what it looks like, Back in the day, whenever you're trying to get your cows pregnant, you have the bull sit over on the side. And in this big old pretty dadgum monstrous looking pen, because the bull's pretty big.
Yeah.
And you got all those cows. The common misconception there, and I may be wrong, but I doubt it because I've had to work with cows before, is that the bull is out there anxious to get out there and get the job done, right? But the cows are too.
Yeah.
The cows are hanging out. All them cows are sitting there, checking them out, and they're pawing the ground and all that kind of stuff. So it's got to be a pretty big pen, and it's got to be a pretty sturdy pen. Anyway, that's what the baseball bullpen looks like, is a true bull pen.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Before we go to the wheel, should we get Robbie's take on he's not happy with international NFL games?
He says the Pittsburgh Steelers will play Minnesota on Sunday, September 28th at 8:30 a.m. in Dublin, Ireland.
Wow.
In one of 7 international games. I think the NFL is going too far with this global emphasis. What do you think? Yeah, Robbie, that's the way it is with a lot of things in our society. I think they're okay unless it's my team that has to do it. You know, I think it'd be fine to have a gas station nearby. It'd be convenient. Just don't put it on my street. You know, I like the idea of having a sportsplex in my area. Wait a minute. On the block over? No, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's okay if the Jags do it, Robbie, or the Cardinals or the Raiders, but the Steelers in Dublin, Ireland? Come on.
Yeah.
I bet it's a shorter flight from Pittsburgh to Dublin than it is from Pittsburgh to L.A. or Pittsburgh to Seattle or something like that, or about the same.
I don't know. I think Dublin's just a tad further.
Oh, I know. It's comparable, I would imagine.
You know, Barry, I was on a plane with Larry Mullen Jr., the drummer for U2, from Dublin back to Atlanta many, many years ago.
Right.
Brush with greatness. How about that? I'm sitting right next to him, as a matter of fact. Only said one word. Well, I asked him one question. Didn't bother him the rest of the flight.
Irish accent? Does he have an Irish accent?
Yeah, he was going to the motorcycle races in Daytona Beach. That's where he was heading.
I've been in Daytona Beach when those have happened. Of course, that's where I was born. But
yeah, he was heading to Daytona.
Yeah.
So, man, love you guys. Saw you in the Omni during the what was the name of that album with it had the song in the Pride in the Name of Love. What was the name of that album? I can see the album cover, but anyway, they were touring for that. All right. Okay, let's go to the Victoryland 777 topic wheel.
Was the album called The Unforgettable Fire?
Yes, The Unforgettable Fire. Correct.
Google is your friend.
It is. It is. You're right. Okay, Gern. Let's give it a big spin. There it goes. Love the sound effects. Victoryland 777, where you could be a winner too. Menu. What's on the menu today? Let's see.
Menu.
Oh,
the PGA. They have a PGA championship dinner.
I did not know that.
How about that? Good get there, Kurt. I thought only one major had that.
Yeah. That is, of course, there's the defending champ, and I like that. That's a pretty good idea.
Xander Schauffele is the defending champion. And
any way we can make that bigger, I'd like to know what's on the menu.
The appetizers are smoked goat cheese dates with pistachio and prosciutto.
Ah, nice.
Clams, casino shooters, pickled watermelon with feta and jalapeno. I couldn't imagine a more noxious substance on the face of the earth than watermelon anyway, but with feta and jalapeno and they're pickled. Steak and blue cheese crostini.
Ooh.
The Wagyu New York strip, that Wagyu steak is extremely expensive, with blackened jumbo shrimp, blue cheese gremolata, frizzled onions, whipped sweet potato, bourbon bone marrow reduction.
Nice.
No thanks. Bone marrow and the banana split and strawberry shortcake.
I mean, how are you going to take it back on the first tee after eating all that the night before? Woo! I tell you what, those porta potties, they better have them stationed in the right spots.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez. Pickled watermelon with feta and a jalapeno.
You know, Barry,
you got to carry that around inside you for 18 holes?
I tell you, I've had something similar to that before. You've got kind of
never in a million
You got kind of the heat, you got the sweet, you got a mixture of textures and tastes.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I think I saw that on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives one episode.
Again, my most unfavorite thing on the face of the planet is watermelon anyway.
Barry, I think
bordering on a phobia. I tasted watermelon once, I think when I was 5.
Yeah.
And I have not tasted watermelon since.
Well, is there a taste? That's my thing. Well, there's no taste to it. I think watermelon and lobster are the two most overrated foods. I don't get lobster. It's chewy. You got to dunk it in butter. Well, what's so great about lobster?
I'm kind of with you on that. I can take or leave lobster. I'm with you.
It just, I think there's a lot of hype and it just doesn't deliver.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else we got there, Gern. 4 more topics left.
Yeah.
The Victorland 777 topic wheel, exit 22 off I-85, Shorter, Alabama, open 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Let's bring
another walk-off.
Gern. Here we go. This is Mets. Oh, I thought we were talking about the Braves. The polar bear, Pete Alonso, an alumnus of the University of Florida. Yeah.
Wait a minute. A walk-off sacrifice fly?
Yeah, it doesn't have the same oomph, but it still counts. It still does. New York walks off the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3 is the final score.
So here's I got a problem with that. So obviously, there was one out when that happened?
I'm
thinking maybe even no out.
Right. Yeah.
That
sac fly was the second out. Yes.
Okay. So that guy catches the ball. He's out.
Right.
But it was an out, but I can still go run.
That's exactly right.
Come on.
Oh, John.
I mean, that's like third swing strike.
No,
catcher drops it, but I can still go to first base.
You can run anytime you want to. You're not restricted from running.
When you're out, play is complete. It's over. That series is over. And then
you got that football mentality. Like, okay, everybody, the whistle blew, so we can all stop and we'll walk over in our little group and we'll talk. And then when we're ready, then we'll run another play. No, baseball.
That is such an unsatisfying way to win a game.
Yeah.
Just hit it out there deep, no matter what. I don't care if he catches it. This guy's going to trot on in
anyway. Of course, John was a big fan of it in 1991 when Gene Larkin hit the sacrifice fly for the Minnesota Twins to score Dan Clavin from third base in that epic 10-inning game, his boy John Smoltz against Jack Morris. He thought that was a great thing. Great thing at that point. Anyway, so there you go.
All right, Gern, let's get it going. 3 more topics to go before the top of the hour. Let's see if we can squeeze them in. It spins around, yellow, blue, and green. Where it lands, it's going to be the Troy Trojans. What's going on with T-Roy?
Well, a lot of different things. As we mentioned, the men's golf team off to a pretty good start. They're in the top 4. They're under the number they need in the NCAA regional up in Champaign, Urbana, Illinois. Jake Springer, a really good start with he's in second place in the individual part of the regional. Remember, I think the top 4 teams get to go, and the top golfer on a team that's not going to go, he gets to go there as well. Big news is the game on Thursday starts a 3-game baseball series between the third-place Troy Trojans and the second-place Southern Miss Golden Eagles. The Trojans can still capture second place in the league, but they got to have success against Southern Miss. Thursday, the game starts at 6 o'clock, Friday at 6. The Saturday finale starts at 3:33. The Thursday game, we'll just focus on that and talk about the rest of it a little bit later on. The Thursday game means the giveaway is going to be the T-Roy baseball tank top.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the big one. The Friday game is the T-Roy T-shirt, and Saturday is the Field of Dreams Day for a lot of the youngsters out there. So there you go. Tickets available at TroyTrojans.com/tickets. Go ahead and get those.
Field of Dreams, another movie I've never seen.
Oh, great one. Great movie.
I like good. The best baseball movie, Bad News Bears, Major League. I like stuff like that. I don't want
Bad News Bears, really good. Bad News Bears, Breaking Training was
terrible.
Okay. Bad News Bears, Go to Japan, or whatever that was with Tony Curtis.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst movie ever made in the history of the world, even worse than Caddyshack 2. And boys, that is saying something.
That is saying something.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Gern, spin it again. Let's see what we got here. 2 more topics. Blue and green, Victorland 777 topic wheel, and it's going to land on hockey.
Got to be hockey.
High elbow.
Oh, yeah. Max Domi. I think we saw a clip of this earlier.
I like it.
See if we can get a look. Yes.
And you can see boom. Oh, yeah, the elbow to the game 4.
Can't do this.
He barely grazed him.
Max Domi, though, he's got that reputation. He's kind of he's kind of one of those enforcer types, kind of a cheap shot artist.
Yeah.
Which personally I think is repugnant.
Mm-hmm.
John admires the technique sometimes. Hey, that one was pretty good. In church league, John respects the guy who can get off a little elbow to the kidney.
Yeah.
But then also follow that up with a what?
Yeah.
Me? What did I do? It's a multi-talent that it takes to pull that one.
There's a quick swing of emotion, aggressive, and then, okay. Let's spin it to make it official. The last one, I think we actually have even mentioned this, but we're going to spin it anyway.
Yep.
And it is going to land on Jordan, which is, I believe, Michael Jordan. Yep, there you have it. What's the story?
Yep, we talked about that early on here. I think it's a big thing. I wonder how much they're paying Michael, but they're going to change his nickname from Air Jordan to On the Air Jordan. Michael Jordan will join the NBA's the NBC NBA coverage next year of NBA basketball as a special contributor. They're going to go back. They're going to go retro a little bit next year, which I think is good. They're trying to the kids love the NBA. The kids love it. The older people are starting to gravitate, or had started to gravitate away from it. So you're going to have the Round Ball Rock theme song next year when the NBC coverage gets underway. They're going to go back in a little retro back to the 1990s and some of those.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now I don't want them going 80s with the short shorts.
No.
Or I don't want them going baggy with them touching the kneecaps. Either.
See, and that's what the players now, they laugh at the players, because you look at some of those 80s and 70s, the old clips, the ball handlers are dribbling it straight up. They palm the ball all the time. Now, back in those days, the guards are just straight up and down and everything, and they'll turn left and right, and they'll shoot the little, the set shots and stuff like that. People today don't want to see that.
They don't want to see it. You're right. I don't know what they do want to see, and that's Longshore McKnight. We greatly appreciate it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's very important. We greatly appreciate it. Of course, you can check us out so many ways. If it's better for you to view or listen later on, no problem. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, Spotify, and, of course, at YellowHammerNews.com.
Yes, enjoy the program today. You can enjoy it again. Tell your friends all about it. Thanks to Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com, Travis Reier on YouTube, our producer, Gurren Jr., John Longshore, Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.